Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for making it on time. And my name is Ouriel. I'm from Zengo, and I'm here to talk about a very important topic, something that we should talk more about, which is digital and physical security and protection for crypto entrepreneurs and builders, which I assume we in this conference are all are. So what I want to talk about is really how indeed anyone involved in this industry um, can become a target, how it happens, and what can we do about it when you are becoming a targeted target for an attack, whether this attack is digital or physical. Just a quick word about who we are and why we're doing this talk. Zengo is a crypto wallet for individuals and businesses. We've been around for a few years. We're one of the leading non-custodial crypto wallet. What makes us unique? It's very easy to summarize. Over 2 million users, zero crypto wallet ever hacked. No account takeover, no SIM swap, no phishing, not all of these things. Ultimate security built on multi-party computation with delightful user experience. And if you want to try out, you will see by yourself, understand why this wallet is so secure. Obviously, because of what we do, we are exposed to all sorts of stories. We monitor very closely what is happening in security. So let's start with what does it mean to be a target when you are a crypto entrepreneur or a builder in that industry. Let's start with just some live examples. And I'm sorry if I'm going to scare you a little bit, but the point of this presentation is to raise awareness and to raise the questions, but more importantly, to trigger some sort of thought process for actions. So a few examples. So here we had in France the co-founder of a crypto wallet called Ledger hardware wallet, which has been kidnapped. His wife also was kidnapped. He was mutilated. Thank God he was rescued. But that happened here in this country, in the country we are in today. Another example, US tourist, a lot of money, over $100,000, stolen by ordering a fake Uber in London, so not far from here. Obviously, this is starting to raise a lot of worries in the community. Entrepreneurs are starting to get worried and wondering what they should do about it. A crypto founder, for example, in Uganda, was forced to send $500,000 at gunpoint. And obviously, when you are at gunpoint, anything you know about security and crypto security doesn't matter anymore. You will want to save your life. In South Korea, this is a different type of attack. This time has been performed by the girlfriend of someone who stole him $500,000 of his Bitcoin at home. That's a very unusual, typical of physical attack. Another type of attack that happens also is impersonation, but not the one that you expect. Someone has received, in that case, a fake package of a hardware wallet, in that case a Ledger, but that could be any hardware wallet, warning him that there was something that happened with his wallet and that he should upgrade to a new device. And as he did so, he lost his cryptocurrency. This is, and I'm sure you've seen this footage, it was running on X for a few days, a live kidnapping that happened in the streets of Paris, where the daughter of an entrepreneur, well-known entrepreneur in France, was nearly kidnapped, and thank God that did not happen. What that means is that you may be the target, but not only you, people around you may become also targets. Here is another case that is very, very curious. A crypto trader in New York was kidnapped and tortured for weeks to get his Bitcoin private key. And the interesting fact is that as the investigation went on, things got really, really weird because it was not clear if it was kidnapping or the other person was complicit into it. What that means, and that's why I'm highlighting this story, is that sometimes you read things in the news, you should be wary about the truth until the truth is found out. You have also something that is very common, not talked about, is shoulder surfing. Shoulder surfing is whenever you are in a public place, could be a conference, a bar, on the street, and you are going to write your PIN code because Face ID doesn't work, Touch ID doesn't work, and you have people who are going to observe you and do this PIN code, and then they steal your phone. And from there, they can do anything that they want, unlocking your iPhone, unlocking everything that you have on your phone, including, obviously, your crypto. That leads some people to do really extreme, to get to extreme measures, like this Bitcoin family who have split their Bitcoin passwords and code and private keys on metal plates that were distributed all around the world. I'm not sure it will save them or it doesn't reduce all the risk, but that's what it leads people from doing. Sorry about that. It should show something different. For some reason, there is this RB. This slide is basically showing that the attacks can happen everywhere or anywhere. The first picture happened in France. The second picture happened in the UK. The third one happened in the US. This is really a global phenomenon that is raising. And if you thought those were isolated cases, there is a broad list of physical attacks that have happened, especially accelerated during the past 12 months. What you should know is that we are all targets. All of you here in that room, everyone here in this conference, anyone involved in that industry, we are potentially all targets. Why? Because from the moment you have some cryptocurrency and that you are, and we're going to talk about it, public about it, you are making yourself a target. The question is, are you a low-value target, medium value target, or high-value target? Question number one. Question number two, are you a target that can be actioned upon, and at which range? The important thing is to never forget that potentially you are a target. So how do you become a target? How do one person working in crypto or involved in that industry can become a target? Well, the first one is by being public about it. Saying that you own crypto or showing that you own crypto, and public signs, whether they are physical or digital, stating that you are, it's like, you're displaying a sign, kidnap me, I have some money on me, right? It's obviously not this accurate, but being public is a first sign that you give to the world about the possibility of becoming a target. The second one is being obviously successful. The more you are successful, the more you are a higher value target. Being successful doesn't mean that you are rich or rich yet. It means that you are publicly, I would say, you are publicly made a celebrity or on the way to become a celebrity, and that's sometimes enough to become a target. The last one is the most important, is making mistakes. And it is not talked about often, is that the source of those attacks are many times the actually entrepreneurs or the builders themselves by the mistakes they made. I will give you some examples. You have three types of attacks. Digital attacks, so anything that can happen through your phone, through your computer. A typical example of that would be a phishing scam or a fake download of a software that you believe that you know and that will take over your computer. A physical attack, so kidnapping, gunpoint, etc., etc., and self-sabotage. So meaning you yourself are doing something, some harm to yourself by, for example, thinking you're doing something safe to protect your private key or protect your security, and you're going to realize you screw up. An example of that was what happened with LastPass when the password manager was taken over and people lost their crypto thinking they were using a secure software. Let's do some autopsy about potential attacks. This is two examples. Those are real examples, right? This is someone who's coming at this conference, saying days in advance, I'm coming to this conference. You can meet me here. There is even a link to book a meeting with him, right? And he's saying that he's coming at the conference. Everything is there. You know his name. You know when he's available. This is an attack served on a gold plate for someone who would like to target, doesn't say he will, but who would like to target this person called Kevin, won't name him, of course. The second one is a public case, so I'm not hiding it because it was live on X. It went viral. Someone, and I'm sure you've heard that stories, people are getting approached by journalists, by fake investors, impersonators, and they ask them to download a fake Zoom software, which takes over the computer and drains completely their wallet. And the wallet, doesn't matter how safe it is, if it's on the computer, it can be taken over and drained. This is another example, something that happens quite common. impersonation of services that you use regularly. For example, DocuSign here. You think you're going to sign a document, sounds familiar, an NDA, stock option plan, whatever, and just by clicking on that link, you have installed a malware on your computer. So now that we are aware that we all can become targets and that all these things can happen in life, in real life, and we're not talking about sci-fi, and they're happening more and more, what do we do about it? So first question, does anyone have $6.5 million to spend? Raise your hand. You don't. You do. Okay, all right, well, good for you, your target. Anyone knows what this amount is? I didn't put it, it's not the value of my portfolio. This is the amount of money Coinbase spend per year for the protection of their CEO, right? So we're talking about physical protection, digital protection. Not everyone can afford to do that. So what can you do about it? What are the 6 commandments for your protection? The first one, and I'm going to be very blunt and direct because we don't have too much time. I have 4 minutes left. I believe the first one is to shut up. And I'm sorry for being extremely direct about it. Obviously, you can apply that with a degree for all these commandments. But the more you are public about what you have, what you own, when you claim something on Twitter or on LinkedIn and you post those screenshots of your portfolio or even your ENS, which links to your portfolio, you are making yourself a target. You should be moderately paranoid. Be very, very, very paranoid about direct messages, about clicks and links. Anything that you receive via email, via any channel, you should think always twice, especially when links are shortcut and you don't really know what's behind it. Be humble. Don't assume that you know anything about security. You know shit about security. And we work in that industry 24/7. There are so many loopholes and so many ways you can lose your attention. And I've met in this conference so many people told me, look, I've lost X amount of money in crypto. I thought I knew what I was doing. They had no idea what they were doing. Be humble. That means to be continuously always questioning yourself and improving and learning. Secure your digital life. Upgrade your password management, firewall, anti-malware. Don't hesitate. Invest in that. Secure your crypto life. Securing your crypto life doesn't mean having a hardware wallet. That's a myth. A hardware wallet is only a protection for your private key. It's not a protection for yourself, right? You don't protect yourself by protecting a private key. You protect yourself by protecting yourself and the people around you. We'll talk about that. Secure your physical life, not just your digital life. Think about things like cams at home, alarm system, self-defense, etc., paper jet, whatever you can use to potentially defend yourself. So how should you react when an attack happens? Because inevitably something will happen. Maybe sometimes something not bad, but could be worse. The first one is don't panic if you can. It's easy to say, but don't panic. You need to stay calm, and you need to kind of be able to stay calm to navigate the crisis because you have very little time to react. The second tip is to secure yourself. Make sure you are in a secure location. Make sure that your peers are in a secure location. You need to worry about that immediately. Notify immediately trusted peers, your chief security officer, or anyone around you that understand about security. Don't stay alone. Contact authorities. There are many ways to do it, usually through the local police. And be extremely careful when you call for public help, because as you do that, you are actually sending a warning to the attacker that they can impersonate you, impersonate help services to help you, and they will scam you and drain you even more. So what else could be done for crypto owners? Well, not necessarily anything that you can do by yourself. State-level deterrence is very important. France, for example, this year took very, very drastic measures to better protect crypto owners and entrepreneurs. Legislation, speed of intervention, international collaboration with different policies around the world, with a swift justice system. Not every country has passed the speed, but France has, because this year has been really bad in this country. Continuously monitor, continuously learn, always learn about crypto security and the risk. You have great accounts like Bo Security or ZachXBT that will regularly update what's happening and give you some interesting tips on how to deal about it. Rethink crypto's custody setup. Rethink it completely. Forget about the myth that a hardware wallet alone will save you. It will not save you. You need to rethink it properly. What does that mean? Decentralize. Decentralize means don't put your crypto and diversify your cryptocurrencies in different custody type of solution, multi-sig, MPC, MPC with smart locks and time locks that will protect you if you have a physical attack. Diversify the risk type. Put on some custodial system, non-custodial system, not everything in one basket. And diversify the access structure. Don't be necessarily the only one signing your transaction. Try to have a scheme where you can, for example, we allow that in Zengo to have multiple people to sign a transaction so that you're not alone depending on that. I believe that I still have 5 more minutes. Is that correct? Okay, good. Sorry, I'm not sure why this slide here is here. It should be there before, but that is just to illustrate what happened in France, where the ministers agreed to upgrade the policies to defend entrepreneurs after a number of kidnapping that has happened in the territory. Obviously, the most important tip that I could give you today is to stay safe. I want to come back on 3 ideas. We are all targets. We don't know it yet, but we are, right? The moment we are involved in that industry, the moment we own crypto, we are potentially targets. Doesn't mean that we will be targeted, but we are potentially. Second is whatever you know about security, you need to rethink about it completely. And that means that you need to be curious about security, you need to learn about it. It's not an option, it's part of the job, and it's part of all our job. Whatever you do in crypto, in addition to that, you need to be aware of the basics of security, which involves different measures that you can be aware of, whether this is in your digital life, in your physical life. Finally, and that's my hope with that presentation, is I hope that you get out of this room with more questions than answers, and also with the desire to warn people about it around you. I think this is a topic that is so important and not talked enough. It's nearly taboo. It's not the happiest news to share about. We would much prefer to talk about all-time highs and God knows what else in the US and regulation and Bitcoin reserve and God knows what else. But this is important. The more this industry is going to grow, the more we will need to care for our security, our self-security. And I repeat, it's not about protecting the private keys. It's about protecting yourself. This is super important, whether you choose the solutions that make it possible, for example, like Zengo, which protects you against cases of physical attacks, or even cases of death, or even cases of device theft, that you have the proper mechanisms, and there are options on the market, to allow yourself to be protected against all the cases, the things of life that makes it possible for you to lose stuff or get attacked. I'm going to stop here, maybe some questions. In the room, we might have like maybe one or 2 minutes. 3 minutes, so if anyone wants to raise your hand, ask a question about what I said or what I haven't said yet. No questions? Everyone feels safe? Oh, someone has a question there. Go ahead. Can you elaborate on that? If you build a community together and you live together, there is security in that innately. You're talking about the physical community. Yeah. Okay, so with your security, your community protects you, basically, you're saying. Yes, we're building one in Asheville, North Carolina. Interesting. All right, never heard about that. That's a first interesting initiative. I have a question for you. How many people feel safe in that conference today? Raise your hand. Right, now I have a second question for you. How many feel safe in the city outside of this conference? Well, I think you have to ask yourself more questions. I think this conference is well secured. Okay, obviously you've seen the gates and everything. I think the moment you are not in a protected area, the jury is out there. And while we can feel safe, remember, we are all targets, potentially all targets, and we should be always careful about our surroundings the moment we are not in a protected area or in a protected community. I don't know if there is any more question, but if not, oh yes, there's a question here.
What do you recommend in terms of, you were talking about diversifying your wallet setup. I like the idea of the time locks as well, because I haven't thought about that before. But I've also heard about like creating like a fake wallet with like a certain amount of funds that you could give a kidnapper situation. Like, what's your recommendation?
So we wrote about that. The problem with fake wallets is that attackers know they exist. If you are a target, it means that it's already too late. They already know you own something. And if you have a fake wallet, that won't deter them. They will know you have a real wallet. So while the appearance may look like you're good and you're safe because the wallet is indeed fake and there's nothing into it, normally, if you become a target, the attacker will know that you own something. And trust me, at gunpoint, you will give everything, fake or not. So it's an interesting idea. I don't think it's good enough for protection. I think it's good for privacy. I think it's good, for example, minor cases when you go through an airport, for example. I'm not sure it's a perfect solution. In terms of diversification, what I meant is that you should look at different wallet systems, not just private key-based wallets, which are single factor based on private key. For example, multi-party computation wallet, which is one we operate, or multi-sig wallets, or smart contract wallets, which are diversifying the risk structure and the access structure to how you access the cryptocurrency. And for example, in Zengo, we have something called secure vaults, where you can put an amount of crypto in there and you cannot move it no matter what, even yourself. And you have a time lock that protects it against you. For example, you can say, this week I'm going to be in Cannes, I'm going to put it there for that period, not to move my cryptocurrency. I'm not planning to trade anyway. So I think you need to think about looking at all the other options that are on the market, and of course, understanding them, understanding the risk that they have also, so that you can be better protected.
So do you think that having like a time lock solution is the most effective for like actually?
I think it's a good option. I don't say that it's the only one. Union security, nothing is 100%, but I think it's a good option. I know we're out of time, and I see there are questions. I'm staying around if you want to ask me questions. If you want to learn more about Zengo, you have the URL here, zengo.com. Thank you very much for your attention.